This video is going to focus on how to create a Google form and what you can do with a Google form. So here's a Google form that I've embedded into Google Sites. And if you have a platform that has a place where you can embed things, it can actually be right in there. Students don't have to go to a link. They can get it right there. But let's say you send a link out, then it'll look something like this, where students get this Google form, they can fill it out. So the first thing that's really nice about Google Forms is you can use it for differentiation. You can do it to set up a lesson. You can, if you teach, like say, elementary school and you want to set up a story that has multiple different outcomes, there's just a variety of things that you could use this for, including exams, quizzes as well. So first of all, I always start out asking for my first and last name of my students. So let's say we have John Smith here. And as you can see, these questions are required because you see this little star. I'm going to talk about how to do that later. I'm hitting next. So some things you can do with Google Forms is you can enter explanations and pictures. Also, you can do boxes for your response. There's a ton of options. I'm going to show you how to do that. But I'm going to put in some fake answers here and hit next to show you some additional things that you can do. So let's say you ask a question and the student doesn't answer or didn't look at the material or didn't do what you wanted them to do and you want them to stay here. Well, they're going to stay here based off that answer. But hey, they reviewed it, they looked at it, let's move on. So they move on to the next section where let's say they get the question wrong. You ask them a practice question and they get it wrong. Well, what you can do is you can set up a Google form to have them go to a different section. Help. Give them extra help if they need it. Whereas if they get it right, you can send them to the next question or the next content material that you have for them. So here is extra help. So they're going to go through based off the explanation and they get it right. Yay. If they get it wrong, it goes to a different help session. So additional help. Let's say the student keeps getting the questions right. So here we go. So walk them through the necessary requirements that they need to answer this question. And then you come down here and they answer it correctly. It'll take them on to the next question or content. They can read through it and then go to the next spot. So really great for creating content. And then of course you can insert videos, YouTube videos, or if you have a link that's not YouTube, you can insert that link so they can go to that link as well, or they can watch a YouTube video right in the Google form, which is really nice. Other things, you can create a survey. So I'm going to go to a survey here, and this is what a survey looks like on your side, on the teacher side, all set up. But once you have your survey set up or your Google form, there's things you can do with it, and we're going to focus on that first, then how to set it up. So there's this responses, and this is really powerful here. So I have 6 people that responded. So I have some fake data here that I entered. And what you can do is you can see the summary overall, what people answered. So you can see what percentage of students answered this question correct, or what they put for the answer, depending on the situation. You can go by question. So what question do you want to look at? Question 1, 2, 3, 4. What did people put? Or each individual, which is really nice when you have a quiz and you want to grade a free response question. You can look individually at it. Next, you can create a Google spreadsheet by clicking this little, it looks like a little green Christmas present. You can click that here and actually create your own spreadsheet. Also, these 3 little dots, this is really powerful. So let's say you have a due date on this Google form, if it's a quiz test, and you go in the next day and you grade everything. Beautiful. But you don't want to go check every single day if somebody submits something late. So you click these 3 little dots here, it looks like a little snowman, and there's this get email notification for new responses. And it will send the notification to the email, the Gmail that you have on this account. So that's really, really nice there. So how do we create this? Well, first of all, you do need a Google email, but once you're logged into Google, you go to these little boxes here, you click Drive. Then what you want to do is you want to go to New, More, and Google Forms. And Google Forms does have some templates, but I do like to create my own templates. So click Google Form. And this is going to be my master copy. So once you make a general master copy, you can just keep copying that one and just making tweaks. Saves a lot of time. Master copy, let's say remediation, my title. And then if you click up here, it will automatically pop in. You can put instructions here. And then you can start adding your information. So let's say you wanted to add a question here. So you hit that plus. You can say first name. And Google Forms will automatically guess what type of answer you're looking for. So short answer text. But if you don't like that, you can come here to this arrow and pick whatever you like. Then I want to do last name. Perfect. And then some other things you can do. Let's say you want to just copy this. You can copy it. Or let's say you want to delete this. Hit the trash can. Other things. Let's say a question is optional. You want to make sure to take the required off. If you don't take the required off, then if they don't answer it, it will not let them submit the Google form. But I want this required. Other things you can do, you can create sections, these two little rectangles. So I'm going to click here, sections. I'm going to show you why these are so powerful in just a minute. So I'm going to create 3 sections. And I'm going to put question 1. Question 1 help. So I like to label these. And this is where you have your master key or your master Google form in this case. It's all your sections set up. And question 2. I'm going to go back up to question 1. Well, I want a multiple choice question. So let's say I want 2 plus 2 equals a number. In this case, it's going to be 4. So I'm going to put in my answers. Let's say 0, 2, click here, 4, and 6. You can keep going if you want. Well, if my student gets it wrong, I want them to get some additional help. So there's these 3 little snowmen down here again. I click there, and I want to go to section based on answer. So if they get it wrong, I want them to go to question 1 help. If they get it right, I want them to go on to question 2. So I'm just directing where this will go. The other thing that you can do as well is continue to next section down here, and you can send them to the section you want. So up here, this would be something nice. So I want everybody to go to question 1 right off the bat. So when they get done with first, last name, it's going to go to question 1. Other things you can do is, let's say you go to question 1 help, you can insert a image. If you have an image saved to your computer, you have a URL, a photo, something from Google Drive, you can actually insert it here. You can insert a video. It has to be YouTube. I recommend having the link ready to go. But let's say you put in addition. You want a video that helps them with addition. This is what you want to click and select. The URL that's there, I always recommend having your video set up ready to copy in. And you could do that by clicking URL, copy in your link, hit select. And then I want to make this all pretty, so I'm going to click and make this centered. You can put a video, description, whatever you need. I recommend putting that in. And it just depends on what you're looking for. Other things, let's say you want additional text, you can insert additional text. So it just depends on what you need for this as well. Also, this is something new with Google, is you can import questions as well. So if you have questions from previous Google Forms that you want to insert, you can do that here. So if you have something specific. Other things. So let's say you add a question here, and before they can move on or maybe go to a different question, they need to answer this question. Oh, wait, it popped in the wrong spot. Well, what's nice is you can drag this down and put it where you want it. And you want to ask a question, 5 plus 6 equals. Well, I don't want a multiple choice. You could do a checkbox, so maybe check all that apply, drop down box, which is similar to multiple choice. But in this case, I want a short answer. One nice thing about short answer is you have these 3 arrows, but here you have what's called response validation. So you have your choice. Do you want number, text, length? So if you do a text, contains, so at least needs to contain, let's say, the word 6. They have to have that in to get it correct, 6. Email address, it just depends what you're looking for. In this case, I want a number. So it has to be equal to, so I find equal to 11. That's the correct answer. If they get it wrong, what you want to do is you want to put a custom error text. So if they get it wrong, maybe there's something you want to send them to, a link or extra help or a video talking them through it. So you can put extra help here to help them with a question. And that's what pops up when they go ahead and answer it wrong. If they answer it right, they'll go on to the next section, or you can come here and click go to question 2. Or let's say they get it right, you want them to go back to question 1 and retry that one that they got wrong originally. Then question 2. Well, here's question 2. Let's say I want to do 3 minus 3 equals, so I put in my answers. But wait, I don't want multiple choice. There is check boxes, linear scale, which you wouldn't use for this one, multiple choice grid, which is really nice, checkbox, and so on. And with each one of these, you have special things you can do. For here, you can shuffle row order, so if you don't want them in the same order, you can limit to 1 response per column. So let's say you have like a definition and a term matching. You could do that as well, but you only want 1 per, instead of being able to say, oh, every answer is 1. So you can do that. So each one of these has something special with it, which is the really nice part. So checkboxes, it has the response validation with it. So really powerful, really helps students here as well. So 3 minus 3 equals 0. I'm going to keep it multiple choice in this case. 2, 5, 8, or whatever numbers you want to use, 0, 2, 6, 8. And instead, what I want to do is I want to come down here, go to response validation, and I want to click select at least, select at most, select exactly what number you want in custom arrow text. But I'm going to change this back to multiple choice. Do the same thing. It keeps it there, which is really nice. And I'm going to go to section based on answer again. They get it right. I want them to submit the form because this is my last question. I want them to submit it. Good to go. If they get it wrong, maybe you have some additional help you send them back to, just depending on what you have set up within your Google form, which is why I recommend getting all your sections laid out. It makes doing this step a little bit easier. You don't have to create, go back, create, go back.